let's see here. We've got this new game that I had never heard about called Mixtape. Another fucking game in the 90s, millennial slop apparently. And, you know, it's from IGN, the review. Anyone who fucking... Any game that IGN rates a 10 or high is just, you know, it's going to be shit. I don't know what they're fucking talking about.
True nostalgia isn't the replication of a specific place or time, but of a feeling. It's those flashes of emotion that transport us back into memories that have long sat dormant. I was born too late to be a teenager in the 90s, and believe it or not, with this accent, I grew up thousands of miles away from the schools of Northern California. I barely stepped on a skateboard outside of a few scraped knees in the summer of 2003, but none of that matters, and Mixtape knows this. Australian developer Beethoven and Dinosaur fills each and every...
No, don't. Oh, why do it have to be Australians? Why does my country make the worst fucking games? There's only one game that I liked that Australia made. And it was one where you play as, I think it was a goose. And you just do puzzles, basically. Sort of. Like, you can harass people and shit. Like, you try to get the keys off some old man in his garden to get through the gate. And you could chase a child and lock him in a telephone box. But yeah, anyway, every other game I find Australia's made is shit. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's decent. Fuck.
Moment of its coming-of-age tale with incredible music, perfectly hand-picked to set the tone for its free-flowing chapters in a way only nostalgia can. As original as it is reverential, it's a masterfully constructed dose of new memories hinged brilliantly on how they remind us of our own.
Yeah, I remember floating into the sky when I was a teenager. Jesus Christ.
The coming-of-age story is perhaps my favourite framework in all of fiction. That longing for a time I didn't live in and being given a chance to hang out with friends who never knew me are sensations I find myself coming back to often. This is far from the first video game to tackle the concept, of course, but it might just be the first one to have nailed a tonal balance that hits just right for me. I've tried to enjoy the Life is Strange series more than once, but I've just found its dialogue a little too corny for my liking to fully get into. Mixtape, on the other hand, feels more rooted in how actual people talk and is all the better for it. Sweet without being saccharine, thoughtful but never forced, and always funny.
There have been noise complaints.
Okay.
The story centres on Stacey Rockford and her group of friends as they look to make the most of their last day together and reminisce about past adventures before she skips town to chase her dreams in New York. You aren't given choices here, but experience these fully formed characters' hijinks and heartaches, warts and all, and they feel all the more realistic for it. That's not to say their recollection of these adventures isn't laced with flights of fantasy though, as they've clearly been embellished in Rockford's mind, allowing each to be presented with lashings of style as if they were playable music videos. There's a great sense of spectacle later on that I wouldn't dare spoil, but I'm going to show you a couple of little clips here of the sort of thing you'll be getting up to earlier on, including like a trippy softball session and a police raid of a house party that you escape by hurtling downhill in a shopping cart. And these are all soundtracked by some brilliant songs, none of which I can sadly play for you here because YouTube won't like that, but trust me, the playlist is incredible. I'll mention a couple later.
Fair.
And music is kind of a big theme of Beethoven and Dinosaur's games. If you played their debut, The Artful Escape, you'd know that it used psychedelic metaphor to tell a tale of self-expression. Mixtape, though, is far more grounded in its exploration of friendship and how those closest to us help us grow. It's a story that won't necessarily surprise, but will comfort, and is often hilarious. It's like those aimless afternoons you spend with friends without any specific goal for what the day had.
Why do they all look like they're just been smoking weed constantly? Their eyes are always half shut. The fuck is this? This is the most unappealing garbage I've ever seen.
In store, but you'd always end up learning something new about them, whether they'd want to reveal it or not. Obviously, those unlocked memories aren't yours, they're Rockford's. But these memories are just so well observed that they come across as universal, as if they could be ripped straight from your teenage Facebook or MySpace page if you're getting on a bit like me. In many ways, it's best to treat Mixtape, well, like a mixtape, with no knowledge of where it will go next, beyond a trust placed
Oh,
in the
stop
creator.
it.
There's no interest in fail states or high score chasing here, instead prioritizing existing in and enjoying the moment. Its simple mechanics match its simpler times, with each twist aiming to elicit a fresh emotion through interactivity in a way that only video games can. That can be as simple as hitting a series of buttons to headbang in rhythm to Silverchair's Freak,
Shit, it's the cops. Reach up, it's Joe. Are they gone?
or just having a good time designing your own slushies from a selection of flavours. Some though are a little more out there.
I'm struggling to find the goal of this game. I wouldn't even really call it a game. What the fuck?
Such as the recollection of Rockford's First Kiss, where with each analog stick you control a tongue and awkwardly have to navigate a set of brace-filled teeth until mercifully a button pops up at the bottom that says, "That's enough." It's funny, it's gross, but you know, I pressed that button as soon as I could. Each memory sequence spawns from a keepsake found around the world that smartly serves as the key to unlocking cherished memories. In this regard, Mixtape is somewhat similar to What Remains of Edith Finch, although I'd never say it carries anywhere near the same amount of emotional weight as Giant Sparrow's masterpiece, instead sidelining deep-rooted familial trauma for a focus on youthful joy. Any replay value is found in wanting to revisit these short pockets of fun. They won't change, nor will the relationships or conversations within them.
Hate to break the immersion, but I did a bit of trolley collection some years ago. You're not really going to have that kind of control over a trolley going down a hill. You will be hitting everything.
But familiarity is at the core of nostalgia, and I can see myself treating Mixtape like one of those comfort films you pop on every couple of years. You know what's going to happen, so the surprise factor is gone. But spending time with these characters whose lives are only a few hours long is still valuable. That's probably why I've already played through its roughly 3-hour campaign 3 times already.
What are we doing?
Hanging out, getting buzzed.
I've got to get out of this place.
Right, so they
Best
are
friends
robots.
Slater and Cassandra are excellent foils to Rockford too, with an instant sense that these three have been a close-knit group instantly delivered via quick-hit, sarcasm-fueled jabs, and the sort of goofy noises spilling out of their mouths that only occur when you feel completely comfortable around someone. The writing and performances really do come across as just almost effortlessly natural, which is such a difficult thing to accomplish. Cassandra in particular has some standout scenes and ended up being my favourite of the bunch, even if some aspects of her character change a little too abruptly to be 100% believable at certain parts in the story.
I'm bored. I'm too young to be this bored. You want to get blackout drunk in a field?
I can't.
But the star of the show
Honestly, can't say I've ever met kids that were like that. Yeah. Definitely wasn't... Like, this isn't nostalgia to me. This is just fucking weird bullshit. You wish your life was like that. Like, was your life so boring that you made it this way? What the fuck?
show arguably is the music. Rockford herself is an aspiring Hollywood music supervisor, and as such, pop songs from the early 90s and decades before propel much of the adventure. Big artists are here, but not always alongside their biggest hits. It's a nice touch, as if someone like Rockford, a music connoisseur who dreams of a profession centered on unearthing audio gold to match a mood, has curated the soundtrack. I particularly enjoy the way you can walk around and get her to comment and give analysis on some songs, like some sort of Patrick Bateman with far less violent intentions.
Portishead's debut album, Dummy. A must-have. Cinematic, ambitious, ahead of its time. Just like me.
The opening skate to Devo's That's Good is the perfect high-energy pace
Broke
setter,
your
whereas
ego.
the scuzzy Love by the Smashing Pumpkins provides a fantastic backdrop for some explosive angst. I'm not sure I felt a
That was probably the best part of that game. Holy shit.
game connects so intrinsically to its music in such a charming way since Simogo's Sayonara Wild Hearts, and I couldn't get enough. It consistently hits a delightful cross-section of games, music and movies. From Dazed and Confused to Ladybird, it reminds me of some of my favourite coming-of-age stories, without ever feeling like pastiches of them. Mixtape does this elegantly and with a genuine love for the genre its creators clearly hold close. as Beethoven and Dinosaur itself comes of age with its sophomore effort. But it isn't just tonally looking towards cinema. It plays with the form, in turn becoming a mixed media wonderland of a video game. There's the glorious, painstakingly handcrafted Spider-Verse-esque animation that enraptures at a glance, along with the use of grainy live-action stock footage, music video-like editing rhythms, and fun fourth-wall breaks. It's not afraid to experiment and nerd out when it comes to stamping different styles on different scenes, and is all the better for it, keeping things constantly fresh. Look, I was always going to be a mark for Mixtape. As a coming-of-age movie lover with an ear often lent to the guitar music of decades past, and someone who likes to indulge in the bittersweet sensation of melancholy.
I'm sorry, how fucking shit was your childhood if this game is appealing to you? What the fuck? This is some of the most cringe dog shit I've ever heard.
It's as if Beethoven and Dinosaur made this just for me. I mean, it even references David Shire's unused Apocalypse Now score in an early scene. I can't help but fear I've been actively spied on. But the beauty of Mixtape is that you don't need to be exactly the type of person it's for to get a lot out of it. Much like nostalgia, it brings out feelings you may have long forgotten, through faces and songs you may have never seen or heard before, but which bring familiar, faded emotions with them all the same. It reminds me of times I once enjoyed, but in hindsight, wish I'd held dearer in the moment. It's a mistake I didn't let happen again with Mixtape, as I savoured each and every minute, all the way to its final, powerful button press.
Oh, this section. This is what I'm talking about.
Nostalgia is a bittersweet feeling, but one we can't help but fall into the clutches of, whether by choice or not. It's a sensation immaculately captured by Mixtape, a soulful journey that creates new memories you felt like you've had for years at every turn. Each song choice is perfectly matched to the novel vignette it backs, delivering a new fleeting joy with every chapter as surprising gameplay twists are woven throughout its funny yet touching campaign. A musical delight from start to finish, Mixtape sets a new standard for coming-of-age stories and video games, and does so with a masterful sense of style.
Reviews director Tom Marks here with Simon Carty, our reviewer for Mixtape, to talk a little bit more about that very big number that just showed up at the end of the video. If you've probably seen Simon around, he reviewed Death Stranding 2 for us, Astrobot, Overwatch, the 1 and 2, Horizon Forbidden West, a bunch of stuff. Carty, this is your fourth 10, I believe, over your long tenure at IGN.
Yes.
But as you said before we started, you use the whole scale because you have just as many 3s.
Oh, I have 2s and 3s and 4s. Only a couple of years ago I gave Modern Warfare 3, I think, a 4, and FIFA on Switch a 2 back in the day. So this is the whole scale, you know?
This isn't just you being top heavy. Your other 10s were God of War Ragnarok, Disco Elysium, The Final Cut, which you did the original review as a 9.6, and then Final Cut got up to a 10. And then you did an updated review of Overwatch in 2020 that you gave a 10. And I think that was at that game has had ups and downs, and that was really at the peak of what Overwatch was.
It was near a peak, yeah.
So, but this is notable because this is the first 10 of 2026, and I just want to dig into this. We had this conversation with Logan Plant when he did Donkey Kong and gave that a 10 last year, and also Liana Hafer when she gave Hades 2 a 10 last year. Those were only 2 game review 10s in 2025. What makes a 10 for you? What kind of pushes it from a really amazing thing to what you would consider a masterpiece, something that you think is is the peak of what it's doing?
It's just blah blahing.
It has to absolutely brilliant in pretty much everything it does. Mixtape is a very different kind of game. It's like a 2 to 3 hour musical, narrative heavy story. And I played Mixtape, and it was kind of one of those moments where I was very excited for it.
Oh, this would all be interesting.
Violence.
If it was
A
appealing.
lot of games would just show it in a cutscene, but that game asks you to press the square button 3 times. It asks you to take part in it, right? And I feel like Mixtape is asking you to have that same level of interactivity on a lot, less evil scale. But it's
Right, whatever. Think that'll do. But while coming across this is why I went and looked for Mixtape review. It's because that's what he was talking about. The kissing scene, and that's enough. That's fucked up. But yes, apparently inspiring masterpiece. 10 out of 10. Yeah, if we just, find cute robot girl, oh, we're all creeps and sus. Fucking ridiculous. Oh my god.